what we're doing right now, was optional for a long time.
Right.
Now it's not. We're going to look back on this time and see that people who poo-pooed podcasts are going to be like people who 25 years ago, if you told them you need a website, they might have said, why do I need a website? Everyone's got a website.
It's becoming table stakes.
That's right. It's becoming table stakes. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Steve.
It's great to see you.
Oh my gosh, it's good to be here.
How's everything going?
You know, I had a peppermint shake from Chick-fil-A for lunch
Oh, really?
today.
I've never had that. Is it good?
It's mid.
Oh, it's, yeah.
As far as peppermint shakes go.
What is the premium peppermint shake?
For me, it is from Bona Beef, which is a Chicago-based Italian beef chain.
Wow.
Which has the best peppermint shakes
Obviously,
out there.
some hometown nostalgia vibes for that.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, I'm excited. I'll need to try a peppermint shake from Chick-fil-A. It sounds pretty good. What's going on? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? So I'm excited to be here on the Out of Scope podcast, interviewing you. And today we're going to talk about the HL origin story.
The Hirsch Leatherwood origin story.
Exactly.
It's a good one. Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit Hirsch Leatherwood. Let's talk a little bit about. I want to hear some of your background too, and how you've gotten to this place, because we've both taken in some ways very similar journeys, in some ways very different journeys. I think here, and we were talking before. This is going to be upcoming. You and I's our fifth HL week.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. So we started the company in January 2021. You joined in November 2021. And 5 years later, we've helped build Boutique Agency of the Year, a big content studio, an award-winning firm. I think we're doing okay.
40 under 40. PR
women
week,
to watch.
women to watch.
Absolutely.
We're kind of crushing it.
Absolutely. All right. So should I tell you a little bit about how this whole thing got started?
Take me back to the beginning. You and Evan, 5 years ago.
And it was precisely 5 years ago in November 2020.
Wow.
6-8 months into COVID, but still, not that we completely understood it at the time, but certainly in retrospect, in the depths of COVID.
Yeah.
I went to Evan, having sort of become restless working at home for many months on end. And in thinking about, well, the realization that I had while working at WPP for many years was I'd always grown up in traditional agencies, traditional PR firms that were very media relations based. I met Evan at what was a top WPP content marketing firm. And I realized that there was this confluence of skill sets and activities going on at the PR firm I was at, Hill & Knowlton, and the content marketing firm that I was sort of observing from the side, SJR, and realizing that there was opportunity for a combined boutique player where everyone on staff could do all of those things and not needing to go to 2 or 3 individual firms to get this whole wide variety of services that we give to our clients. So 5 years later, what that's led to is really having the traditional strategic comms, best-in-class PR strategy part of our business, combined with the more modern approach of HL Studios and our editorial content and our research papers and the assets that brands need today to create their own story and push their own narrative.
Yeah, I remember when we first met to talk about this at the Bluestone Lane up on the Upper West Side. And that was your pitch to me. And that has really rung true over the years. I think what you and Evan set out to create has truly been a differentiated approach to comms.
I think so. When I worked at 4 different agencies
Mm.
before starting HL, and it's funny looking back. There are absolutely traits and qualities and different personality attributes that I have taken from Launch Squad, from Max Borges Agency, from Hill and Knowlton, from SJR.
Yeah.
There are also some things that all of those companies did that I was not interested in taking forthwith.
Sure.
And I do think, having worked at a small agency, a medium-sized agency, a large-sized agency, I got a good feel for what was going to make a different way of working in this very crazy life that is client services, professional services. And while I don't know that we've solved every problem, I think we've done a pretty good job at building a really agile team that has a really engaging day to day, that works with a really interesting set of clients and is helping them do different kinds of things in the media every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that I'm really proud of that I handle a lot of our interviewing and culture here. Um, I think having an intellectually stimulating workplace it really makes the days go well. And as Evan says, how we spend our days is how we spend our lives.
Well, the line itself comes from Annie Dillard,
Mm.
but that is a very famous line that Evan likes to quote. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about, like, in your day to day. I mean, can you talk about some of the range of clients that you've worked on here over the years, and maybe how that's compared a little bit to your other agency experiences?
Totally. And so to zoom out, I have a similar background to you where I've worked at small, medium, and large, and definitely found myself gravitating towards the more boutique, hands-on, like really just in the thick of it. And I think that we do a really good job of providing that like senior level counsel while also being able to like coach and mentor the team, which really lights me up. So, my background, I started at a boutique travel PR agency. Then I went to that's where I got my media relations chops. Then went to Edelman to work on really large brand campaigns for under the Unilever brand.
The PR firm of all PR firms,
The
Edelman.
PR firm of all
Some
PR.
people listening to this know Edelman, but some people don't. Some people have no idea what Edelman
You
is.
think?
Some people, yeah, a good deal of people.
Okay.
It's funny.
Like Ellie probably wouldn't know unless
Uh,
only from you.
correct,
Right.
correct. People barely know what WPP is
Yeah.
outside of this bubble of
Right. The
advertising
comms
and
bubble.
marketing that we're in. So anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, Edelman. Unilever brands, Dove Men. But that's where I got like a real good understanding of the like big brand comms and all, but still also how that translates to the day to day and like
Mhm.
what that means for the people who are like on the ground and how that just kind of cascades. Um, so after that, I was like, yeah, I think the big agency life isn't for me. Just you just felt lost in the shuffle. Like I was like too far away from the work, even as a junior person or junior-ish person. And then I went to Day One Agency. So a very big, now very big, but I was employee 30 when I joined the team, working on the American Express business there. So that was a really nice union of that kind of corporate communications and consumer communications, B2B, on the American Express business. So everything from Small Business Saturday to the new Amex Gold Card launch. We got to work with some really fun celebrities: Allison Brie, Samira Wiley, Jessica Biel. It was a wild ride there. So I was there for almost 5 years and then thought I was ready to sail off into the proverbial in-house sunset.
You were at Day One for 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
When I left, they were almost 150 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really loved being a part of building something and having been at a firm where you have a POV and you can have it be enacted on and see that move really quickly. That was very appealing to me. But in the pandemic, I was a little burnt out, and so thought I was ready to, take on the next stage of my career in an in-house role. And so I went to Realogy, which has since rebranded to Anywhere Real Estate, which is a Fortune 500 holding company that owns and operates like all of the residential real estate brands. Caldwell Banker, Century
Yeah.
21, Corcoran, so on and so forth. So I was there for just under a year
Mm.
when we reconnected. This is a fun story through one of my good friends, shout out Sarah Bush, where you officiated her wedding. Steve officiated her wedding, and I was a bridesmaid, and that was in the first year of HL's operation.
And the job I did officiating was just so good.
So good. I said, I got to work for him.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, because I have to tell you, it was very good. And I remember walking around the grounds of that winery, doing
Your worry walks.
doing my worry walks. Who knows what was worrying me that day, but I remember seeing how you managed all of the chaos of being a bridesmaid for one of your best friend's weddings, and controlling all the details. And we were quickly growing at the time. I needed a partner, a right hand gal that I could count on to come onto our team and instill some order in what was a runaway train of various accounts and communications challenges. And you came on and changed things immediately. And you set the foundation for the kind of work that we did, and the kind of people that we hired, and the kind of culture that we ran. You were a big part of eventually coming into this office space that we found, because we weren't in this office, right?
No, we were still at a Neue House.
Out of Neue House. Thank God for Neue House.
Yeah. RIP. End of an era.
Yeah, right. Neue House is gone, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So, and 5 years later, we've had, I think it's been a really interesting journey that's had a lot of highs, definitely plenty of lows. I think specifically well, it's funny. There's actually one moment in our journey that I look at as both a high and a low.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say.
It was in Miami.
Oh.
It was in Miami.
Yeah.
Where we both went out for an epic meal.
Delicious omakase.
Right.
Top 10.
But we were also stuck in that airport for forever.
Yeah.
And there was some tense things going on around.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
no, we've been through it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you are more similar now to who you were when you started the firm, or more different?
No, I think I'm pretty different, actually. I mean, when we started the company, just Ellie and I in our 1-bedroom apartment on the Upper West Side. Muffin was there, but only by a little bit.
And not all that helpful.
In those years, we've moved up to the suburbs. We've expanded our family. We have built a brand. There are a lot of elements about building a business and running a business and maintaining a business that you can't possibly understand until you're in them and doing them. And during all that time, the media space has shifted, the PR space has shifted, the advertising and marketing space has shifted. It's all ever evolving all the time, as we all know. And both that combination of life changes, with work changes, with all of the other changes that are happening around us, I would say I'm actually a pretty different person from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
While some basic tenets might be pretty similar. It's been a really wild 5 years where, like we mentioned, there's been a lot of highs, there's been a lot of lows, there's been a lot of lessons. We've had a lot of wins. We've had a lot of people leave for their next steps up the mountain, as we say. And every day's a battle, and that's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it hard. And that's what we're doing here.
Keeps it lively around these parts for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I did want to ask about HL
Mm.
Studios. So, what was the gap that you were seeing in the market that really made you decide to create this new offering?
Well, I think it comes down to every brand, no matter if you're a consumer brand, a B2B brand, a cloud computing company, a flash storage platform, a big consultancy, everyone needs a brand
Mm-hmm.
in order to build reputation and credibility and get a big exit and do all the things that we all want to do. And the most effective strategy to building a brand right now is putting out short form video content. That's what we're doing here. That's what this spot right now is going to become a short form video. That is what you need to build a brand. And we wanted to both continue building upon the Hirsch Leatherwood brand and make it possible for us to produce our own content and build on our own story. And also, it's a little meta, right? It's creating a blueprint for how other companies should be looking at how to build their brand and their narrative and their stories. So, fr- when we say Hirsch Leatherwood Studios, we think about it from a few different standpoints. There's the digital content, which is obviously the video podcast. It's also our daily newsletters,
Right.
which is our Out of Scope Daily. And then there's our physical content, which is our in real life events, our quarterly gatherings, our golf events. We go to Knicks games, we do happy hours. Uh, Building a brand in 2025 needs to be considering your digital content and your physical content. And HL Studios is meant to represent the two sides of that coin. And so that's what we're doing for ourselves. And it's also giving us a blueprint to go to our clients and prospective clients and say, this is how you need to build a brand if you want to be relevant in 2025.
Yeah, it's proof of concept. And I think doing this ourselves, we have a lot of great case studies and real life examples to point to, and it's working.
Absolutely. I mean, the first few episodes we put out, right? I interviewed uh, a very well-known New York sports personality around these parts, Sal Licata from WFAN. You had on IBM's head of influencer relations. We had on 10 for Refugees, head of comms. The intersection of brand, reputation, and culture can touch so many different aspects and be adjacent to so many different kinds of people in so many different walks of life that we really have the benefit of being able to produce a lot of different kinds of conversations and and leverage those conversations into the media or the medium of the day, whatever that is, and make all of this content more accessible and engaging for people.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a ton of sense. And something else that we talk about is the scroll first, second screen world. Everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's certainly how I consume content. I
Mm-hmm.
imagine that's how everybody else consumes
Yep.
content as well. Um, but what's also so interesting is the algorithm and the discoverability of it all. Just this morning,
Mm.
you mentioned how a random friend of yours came across out of scope
Yeah,
content probably because you were a contact in his phone.
right.
And I'm getting texts from random friends saying that it's popping up in their feed. And the reality is the discoverability of of content doesn't need mass distribution anymore, which is part of the reason I was so excited to do this, is that it was so clear how easily it could be discovered by just our networks and our adjacent audiences. And so uh, tapping finding a way to tap into that second screen simply by existing. Forget about making the content good, which of course we're doing, and it's great. But right now, there's a lot of white space in that second screen, in just being on that second screen. And so that was a big reason why we felt we had the standing to do this, was just because you don't you don't need to be on broadcast television to have mass awareness in the way that you used to. You can just put people and a couple of mics and a couple of chairs,
and we got a podcast.
And we got a podcast, and now that's what we do. Now we podcast.
No, it's great. It keeps it lively. It keeps it lively. Something I wanted to ask about was what best in class corporate communications means in 2025.
Wow.
It's a big question.
I think best in class corporate communications on a high level, it combines the old with the new, right? Evan will talk a lot about how newspapers aren't dying. They're not dead. Their role has changed. Their influence and their relevance and their credibility has all just shifted a little bit. It's not gone. It's just different. And that's a world you still need to penetrate in a really meaningful way.
But it pulls different levers now.
It used to be that you got a big article in the Wall Street Journal and everybody would know about you and hear about your company, and lots of, call it viral-like things would happen. That doesn't happen with the Wall Street Journal anymore. Partly because there's a paywall, partly because not as many people are reading it, partly because lots of reasons. What the role of the Wall Street Journal now is for the 5 seconds before you walk into the boardroom and your name or your company or your service is being Googled or ChatGPT'd or whatever the service of the day is. And that article comes up and it's instant credibility. Probably not reading the article, probably reading the headline, but being in the Wall Street Journal is the credibility that you need in order to make desired business outcomes happen. So it's absolutely about infiltrating the legacy media, traditional media. It's also doing this. It's also creating content on your own, putting forth a modern approach to brand building. This, what we're doing right now, was optional for a long time.
Right.
Now it's not. If you want a brand in 2025 and you want to translate your credibility into awareness and visibility, you have to be doing things like this. You need to be getting in front of a mic, having discussions. You need to be out on a stage speaking to people. You need to be doing it peer-to-peer, in real life, on Substack. You need to be doing your own newsletter. You need to be doing all of those things to generate regular touch points. It's not because any one post or any one piece of content is going to blow up. Very few of them are. But just having the touch points gives you a license to operate. I was talking to someone recently who I was trying to convince to do a podcast, and their reaction was, but everybody has a podcast. Why would I do a podcast? In a few years, we're going to look back on this time and see that people who poo-pooed podcasts are going to be like people who 25 years ago, if you told them you need a website, they might have said, why do I need a website? Everyone's got a website. This is what you need to operate and have a source of truth and have a central destination for people to come to and actually have a center common ground to understand who your brand is and what it's doing and what it's all about and what your mission is and what your goals are and what you're building towards. Because the Wall Street Journal story doesn't do that anymore. You need this part of it too.
It's becoming table stakes.
That's right. It's becoming table stakes. It was optional. And a year ago, I wouldn't have said that a B2B brand needs its own TikTok channel. Now it does.
My favorite thing is B2B doesn't have to be boring to boring.
B2B does not have to be boring to boring. And you show me a good strategy that works for consumer, I'll show you a good strategy that works for B2B.
It's all translatable. And because we're all consumers, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned working for some like pretty squarely B2B brands.
Exactly. We're all consumers. We all go on Instagram. We all go on LinkedIn.
We all want to be entertained.
We all want to be entertained. And you look at the greatest B2B brands in the world, they have what we would think of as consumer style content.
Yeah, absolutely. So something else we need to talk about is the proverbial elephant in the room.
Oh boy.
The AI of it all.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So I'm curious from your perspective, a couple of things. One, how is AI changing the way you and we deliver communications services to clients?
Well, I think certainly from a research perspective and information services and gathering standpoint, AI has been tremendous. It allows us to put materials together more quickly. It allows us to more quickly design and assemble, decks and memos and all of these things that used to take many, many hours of manpower, for lack of a better term. A lot of those efficiencies have been created using AI, which is great. I think what we've been surprised to see is that AI on a content creation perspective, at least editorially, really is not there yet. We produce a lot of op-eds that live in the Wall Street Journal, research papers that are distributed to sophisticated investors and stakeholders. AI is nowhere near capable of producing that. And so while it can assist with basic information gathering and research purposes, the world that we thought we were going towards a couple of years ago when ChatGPT came out has actually not borne out yet. But you've actually been spearheading many of the AI related initiatives that we've been up to.
Yeah.
I mean, can you talk a little bit about Suits and the work we do with them and how that plays into our day to day?
Totally. We're getting so many more questions from clients these days about how should I be using AI, not just externally, but internally, like as communicators. Like what are the tools, what are the strategies and approaches we should take to ensure we are still providing best in class communications, whether you're a partner or a client. So to meet that need, we've partnered with a company called Suits to develop a proprietary multi-model AI tool that's trained on our unique approach to communications. And we are using that for all the things that you talked about to kind of help some of our internal processes happen faster, stay organized, stay on top of the news, monitoring. A lot of reporting that used to be really automated is now done through this tool. But beyond that, a huge opportunity that is important for all communicators is the generative engine optimization. So when you go to search a query in ChatGPT or insert model of your choice, like how is your brand showing up? Is it showing up? Is the information correct? What are the sources that the tool is pulling from? And it's critical. This is the new frontier that communicators have to be thinking about. And if you don't have a partner that can help you do this, you should definitely find one, because this is going to it's going to have a huge impact on business.
Because ChatGPT is how people are searching for their information, right? And as we all now understand, AI is wrong a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. That's like, the Parent Trap where she's like, a lot.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. And I think that it's going to become, while the AI will evolve, brands will still need to have the onus of of ensuring that what comes up in those LLMs is accurate, is citing the right sources, is pointing people to the right destinations of information, and that a lot of companies and personalities and executives, they need help with that.
No, of course. And you want it to be obviously secure. You want it to be trained on your actual company information, and that is a missing step. I think a lot of the time people are engaging with AI.
That's what's really cool about the platform that we're using, is that it's not taking so much everything that's happened on the internet, but with this proprietary tool, it's actually gone back and looked at all of our files over the last 5 years to see, how do we write new business proposals, and how do we write media pitches, and how do we write customer communications. All of those, which came from up here, has been downloaded into this tool, and it now helps us come up with content that is HL in tone and
Mhm.
HL in nature.
Exactly. And the other cool part of that is we've been able to offer that access to clients so they too can take advantage of this. Like it's similar to, if you've heard someone call it, say, human in the loop for the AI process. It's HL in the loop because it's trained on our expert information. We are in there helping approve things and constantly fine tuning it. So it's been a huge advantage, and we've gotten a lot of really positive feedback about it. And I'm excited for how we can continue to optimize and improve, because I really think it's going to be the future.
You think AI is going to be big?
Plot twist. Yeah.
I think AI is going to be big.
We talk a lot about building team culture. I think I'm really proud of the culture that we've built here together. And in fact, we were recognized as one of Fast Company's best places to work for innovators. And I think we have a lot of innovators in the mix. But when you're thinking about culture, like, who are some role models, or what are some behaviors you've taken, or approaches that you've taken from past companies or past jobs that you really feel like you bring to the HL culture and try to instill in the team?
That's a really great question. I think of a couple of places. The biggest thing to empowering a culture of innovation is empowering your people to be innovative, which sounds very simple, but most workplaces have too many other top priorities happening in any given moment, that it doesn't make it possible for the people in any given culture to be innovative. Virtually every innovative thing that has come out of Hirsch Leatherwood, be it Out of Scope, our newsletter, um, our biannual pop culture summits, our chief fun officer activities. There is a laundry list of proof points that we can look to that have not come from me. These are all products of our people coming in and having the ambition and the drive to want to carve their own piece out of the Hirsch Leatherwood ecosystem, and put, basically state their claim on that.
Yeah.
And so a big part of building culture here over the years has just been letting people get invested in what they want to be interested in, whether it's the kinds of clients that we sign, to the kinds of content that we put out, to the kind of happy hours that we do, the kind of quarterly events that we do. Obviously, I like golf, we do our golf outings. Everyone does their own thing. And I think that's what makes this culture unique.
I completely agree. And I always talk about this in interviews. I say we really want you to bring your unique POV, because that is what has created this special sauce and such a strong team, where everyone is able to share their perspective, and that is how we create that collective strength, and we're just so much smarter when we like take into account like everyone's perspectives.
We say we are New York's smartest communications firm, and the people here every day prove that out again and again. And it's quite amazing to see just the evolution of people who have been with us for so many years. Um, I mean, you asked me before about how I've changed. I'm curious, how have you changed over the last 4 years?
Oh gosh, I definitely feel more different than
Yeah.
the same. I
What,
feel like I was still a little like rose-colored glasses.
mm,
But it's been very grounding to like help build the business. That is like the part that was unexpected for me, because I was like, I know how to do the comms stuff like that. I mean, of course, we have to adapt and change to, you know, to do things like this, and know how to put out a Substack and stay hip with the times. But for me, it's been really rewarding to help build this business. And kudos to you for getting us started.
we've done a lot of good work over the years. It's pretty amazing. We're about to celebrate our 5th anniversary in January. We're gonna get together a lot of people for that, and you and I have both worked with and collaborated with a very long laundry list of people who have been phenomenal partners to us over the years in helping us do this. But no, you coming in year one was one of the most transformative moments we had as a business. We wouldn't be here without a Julia Chapel.
Oh.
No way. No way. You stepped in a big way in our first year in ways that weren't always so intuitive, but that's been the secret to success of this place. Is people coming in, jumping in spots that they're not overly familiar with, being willing to jump into uncomfortable spaces, and quite frankly, doing uh, getting in the trenches in a lot of spots where a lot of people aren't willing to do those things.
Yeah, no. And when Molly joined the team, Molly, our other EVP here, I just remember talking with her, and I'm like, we're a working leadership team. Like we are definitely in the mix, in the weeds. And I still just find that really rewarding. And I know you do too. And that's, I think, why we are such a successful team, because we aren't so far from the work while still building the business.
You definitely have to be a doer to work at Hirsch Otherwood. It's a tough place to not be a doer.
But I think we attract the kind of people that are lit up by that kind of work. And
I think so.
And it's like I said, very intellectually curious people work here, smart, hungry, just excited to help clients do really good work.
Do you have either a favorite client or a favorite HL memory over the last 5 years?
Well, I'm not going to pick favorite clients on the record.
Sure. Sure.
Spoken like a good publicist. But a favorite HL moment. That's a good one. There's been so many. One that comes to mind is actually a new business pitch that we did not win. And we won't name names. But seeing the way that we all prepped for that and were able to like lock arms and really like buckle down and put together what I thought was a dynamic presentation. And then the way you and Evan, after that, the way we were able to like learn from that. And
spoiler alert, we did not get the business.
No, we did not get the business. But the way that we really used that as fuel to become smarter and better, and that like nimbleness and agility, I think is is a really big characteristic of our approach to work here. And going back to what you said about the culture, like that takes leaders like you and Evan to be able to foster a culture like that where people can bring in their unique perspectives. And you've really provided a space and a container for that. And I think that's another reason why we've been able to grow so successfully.
And win other business that wasn't that
That's
fun.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I know. You're like, why'd you tell the story about when we didn't win?
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
But it's like those are the moments where it's like you look around at the people that you're with and you're like, there's no one I would rather be doing this with.
Oh no. I mean, and that's why I've never in my life had a team of people that I enjoy coming to work with 3 days a week so much. It's really the fact that we have built a team of people that we love working with. I don't take for granted any day.
No, that's why we've had such steady growth, because we've been so protective of that culture and really like strategic with who we bring into the mix. Okay.
Cool.
Let's do a couple lightning round.
Sure.
What is one trend in communication that you think everyone is sleeping on?
YouTube. Still.
Really?
Yeah. No one's doing this. Think about how no one has a setup like this.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It is the trend that everyone realizes is happening and is still sleeping on it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a YouTube or a short form video strategy in 2025, you are behind.
That's a take. And then another one for you. What is some of the best career advice that you've ever received?
That's a good one. I think the moment that changed my attitude and mindset for approaching clients and collaboration and just general day-to-day work was when I had a former manager of mine before some meeting that I guess I was a little bit nervous for. I felt a little ill-equipped to be in the meeting for whatever reason, maybe a little imposter syndrome. And he reminded me, or he explained to me, Steve, no one knows anything about what's going on in this meeting. No one knows what's happening. No one's thinking about you. Everyone's thinking about themselves. No one's sitting there thinking about, is Steve going to have the right information or take to bring into this meeting? They're all thinking about themselves and how they're going to make themselves look good, right? Or, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments where when I realized, because obviously up until then I assumed all focus and attention was on me. And I did have a separate manager tell me that not everything was about me. But I think having the realization of everyone is making this up as we go along, and we're all a little bit scared, and we're all a little bit not sure how we're going to handle any given situation. It gives me a lot more confidence walking into any room and being able to talk into a mic or talk with a client or speak with a CEO or talk with a reporter. Everyone's got their own little complex happening up here. And knowing that, I think for me, allows me to be on seemingly level playing ground with anybody. And so I don't get nervous going in to talk to CEOs or clients like I used to, because I know just as I'm trying to figure it out, they're trying to figure it out.
We all put on our pants one leg at a time.
And so I think just understanding that no one has all the answers, and it's not the test every day having all the answers. It's being able to react in the moment, being able to be strategic and empathetic and considerate of all the changing circumstances, and to do the best you can, and to know that, yeah, you just, after you put pants on both of your legs, then you got to put one foot in front of the other and just go. And I think that was just a mindset shift, as opposed to thinking that I needed to impress everyone into every room that I walked into. Just thinking about being a person and being pragmatic and having a semi-smart thing to say. That was changing for me. What about you?
Yeah, what you're saying definitely rings true. A quote I read recently is, um, the antidote to perfectionism is presence. So just being present and engaged, because that's hard for a lot of people, and that really goes a long way. Um, I think about something Evan said a lot, just about just going into the meeting, no matter what level you are, and just with one smart thing to say, just one thoughtful bit to add to the discussion. That's all you need to remember.
It tends to be one more smart thing than most other people have to offer.
Right.
And yeah, having one smart thing to say in any meeting goes so much further than people realize. So yeah, I think that's a good one. And a good one oh yeah.
No, and I just thought of another fave HL moment from recently. I'm on the board of New York Women in Communication, an organization, a nonprofit for, facilitating networking and relationship building with women in the industry. And we recently presented at their crisis communications conference.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was a surreal moment for a couple of reasons. One, just I've been working on this in this organization for a long time, and being able to be a featured speaker was really cool. And funny enough, my old manager from my very first job at the boutique travel PR agency was in the audience and came up to me. So that was like a total full circle moment.
Oh, she was your manager.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought that, okay, she was your manager.
Yeah, she was like an AE when I was
right.
A junior level person on the team. So yeah, that was a cool moment.
Yeah, that was really fun. We got to meet some cool people. I think we should do more of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, this has been so fun.
This is great. Thanks, Julia. Appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, same. Thanks, Steve.